Hey, good morning, everyone. It's Edna Keep live on Facebook today. And the very first thing I want to do is give a very big shout out to my marketing team. They make my life so easy. It is just remarkable. So, thank you so much, Jason and Chandel. I just could not do all that we do by myself. So today we're going to talk about some real deals that we've dealt with. We've had lots of success. We started in 2007 with just our own property. We had some equity in our own property, and that's how we got started. We spent some money on education out of that equity, and then we started buying properties. So we did buy our first two with our own money. And then from there on, we've been able to buy all the rest with none of our own money. So that's kind of our sweet spot in real estate is buying real estate with other people's money. And when I say buying real estate with other people's money, I do want to remind you that you don't just get to use other people's money. You have to provide great value. And the value that we provide is we get people into real estate that otherwise wouldn't be able to get into real estate. They don't have the time, they don't have the knowledge, they understand that it's a good investment a lot of times just because of what they've been able to do with their own house. And if you've got equity in your own personal house, you know what? It's a great place to start. I call it dead equity if you're not doing anything with it. And I call it little soldiers, little working people working for you if you do something with it, because it's putting dollars to work that you already have. And a lot of people don't always think about the assets that they already have that could be doing some work for them. And that's a Robert Kiyosaki teaching that I learned, and I think it's very, very powerful for people to know that. So keep that in mind. So I'm going to tell you about a couple deals that were really some of my favorite deals. Tomorrow, because we're talking about getting started, I'm going to talk to you about some of our first deals. But first of all, what I want to talk to you about today is our third deal, because that was the first deal that we did with none of our own money. And we still own that property today in Regina, Saskatchewan. And we love that little property. It's been a cash cow for us. So we bought it it's 8 years ago now. So 2008. And took us a while to buy it because it was our third property. A friend of ours had been driving around in the neighborhood where my daughter used to live, and he said to us, "Hey, there's a brand new house just got built in that area," and it was just outside of Washington Park, which sometimes can be considered the hood in our area, but we're just outside of it. And plus, my daughter had lived on that street just a little further down, so we felt comfortable with that area. So we went and looked at it, and it wasn't a brand new house. What it was a house built in the 50s, and that house, the lady had totally redid it. So she put on brand new siding, all brand new windows. It had a 1-bedroom basement suite downstairs, and it had a 2-bedroom suite upstairs. And once you walked into it, you got totally past the brand new look, because inside it was definitely 50s. It had the old cupboards and it's quite tiny. It's not that big. I think it's maybe, correct me if I'm wrong, but maybe 800 square feet. And then of course a basement suite downstairs, a lot smaller because there's shared laundry and the furnace is down there. So maybe 500 square feet. But that property, we paid $160,000 for it. And the story with that is, I know some of you have watched my webinar, so I have that story in there, but some of you haven't. So I'm gonna talk about it. We originally offered the lady $140,000 because that was a little bit of a lowball offer, but she wasn't done the property yet, and we were just kind of testing the waters to see what was available. And she said, "No, that's too low. I really want to get $160,000 for it. You know what? I'm not done the property yet." And I think I can get $160,000. The market was pretty hot at that time. So we thought she might be able to too. But we went home and we talked about it again. Good morning, Terry. Good morning, Janelle. Good morning. Who else do I have on here? Rochelle. Good morning, Chandel. Good morning, Rob. Good morning, Tanya and Janelle. Great, awesome, you guys. And anyway, so we went back with an offer of 150,000. So 150 was really, really typical of what we should have been able to get it for. And she said again, she said, you know what, that's a really fair offer, and I definitely will consider it. But she said, I'm not done, so I'm going to finish it. And she'd had a for sale sign, for sale by owner sign out. And she said, I just think I might be able to get 160. So but if I don't, I'll definitely come back to you with this offer. Well, we didn't like that. We wanted the property. So Warren did most of the negotiating, just so you know. And so he comes home and he says, you know what, I think I want to ask for a vendor take back. And we hadn't done this before, so it was nerve-wracking to us. We weren't sure what to do. And we talked to our coach and they said, yeah, absolutely, do it. And so we went back and we said, you know, we're really interested in your property. And as you know, we're real estate investors. We want to build a big portfolio. And so one of the keys with building it is that we're going to need to use other people's money to do so. And so we're wondering if you would do a vendor take back on your property. And she said, well, I don't even know what that is. So we said, well, what it is seller financing, and we can get the mortgage. We actually have the money. We did have the money to put as the down payment, but we knew if we put that down payment down, we'd be limited. And we knew we had to start sometime, right? So we said to her what we'd be looking for, and we'd asked her, what do you can do with the money when you sell? And she said, well, I'll probably just put it in the bank. She says, my mother's not doing real well, and I want to downsize, and she had a couple rental properties, and she says, I'll probably move out of the city, and I just need to be able to take care of her. And so we said, well, if you put it in the bank, you probably earn like what, 1-2%? And she said, yeah, if I'm lucky. And we said, well, you know what, we'd be prepared to offer you 6%. And we'd get full financing at the bank, which was $128,000. So what we'd need from you is just the $32,000. And she said, 6%? And we said, yeah. And she says, wow, for once I'm going to win twice in my life. She says, 160,000 for my house, which is exactly what I want, and 6% on my money? Yes. So we wrote it all up just in the way of a promissory note. And for the first 3 years, I think we paid her interest-only payments, which was about $160 a month. And then after, she needed a little bit more money, so we paid her a couple lump sums. And then she was paid out well within the 5 years. And we didn't even refinance that property. It just was such a cash cow, you know. Like I said, the payment on there was $385. 384 something. The insurance was 50, I think, and then the taxes were another 50. And so that was like, well, less than $500. And we easily rented the upstairs out for $1,200 and the downstairs another $700. So when our payments on that property were $500, that gave us cash flow of $1,200. So, you know, we have had the odd vacancy in there. We have had, you know, where we've had to fix a few things after tenants move out, because it's not the perfect area, and you just have to do that with your renters. But you know what, if you think about it, we've owned that property for 8 years. Say on average, we cash flowed $1,000 a month. I figured it out the other day. That's $96,000 in 8 years. That's $96,000. Do you think we care that we overpaid for that property? And we know we did. You know what? We had it appraised, I think, 5 years later, and it was only worth $3,000 more than we paid for it. But like I said, did we care? Absolutely not. We made the seller very, very happy. We were very, very happy, and we had a lot of really good tenants in there over the years that were very, very happy. So it was win-win all the way around. So love that property, still own it today. I think our upstairs is actually vacant right now in there. But again, like I said, we just know that it's going to be a good property long term, and so we're very happy with it. So that was one that we're very excited about, and it's such a doable thing for most people. You know, most people, you know, they worry about an apartment, they worry about a duplex, they worry about, you know, all that. And that was just that. Well, that was a duplex. That was when we really decided to focus on duplexes, actually, and we bought a bunch more after that, because we really like to have two doors under one roof earning us the money. because we always felt that if as long as one door was filled, the bills were taken care of, usually the upstairs, because the upstairs is a little bit easier to rent. And then the downstairs was just gravy, so it was just a bonus all the way around. So when you're thinking of houses, always at least think of a duplex, and then of course fourplexes, and like we are concentrating on apartment buildings today. And then I want to tell you about another an apartment building that we bought, and this one I believe it was in 2013. Janelle, you'd probably be able to tell me that. The name of the property is Albert Manor, and it's in Saskatoon. And we bought it, I think, around $90,000 a door. Now, if you think about that, in Regina and Saskatoon right now, you can't buy anything for less than 100 a door. It's probably closer to 105, 115, 120. There's one that some of my students just bought for 127. It's brand new, but those are kind of the price ranges. Anyway, we bought it at 90 a door. It was all 2 bedrooms. 24 unit at one bedroom. Yeah, so Janelle says, yes, it was in 2013 we bought that. So what we had to do with that property, it was really close to the university, so it was a great location. We had tenants in there that were in there since it was built, which I believe was in the 60s, 68, 69, something like that. And so what our plan was when we bought it is we knew that we could increase the value of it because it was under rented and it needed some updating. So we went in, and what we did is we gave some rent increases right away, and that cleaned out a few people that were living in there. And then what we started doing is renovating the units. So we renovated them, and they were really nice after we were done. So anyway, and this is the real key here. In 18 months, we were able to refinance that property and give the investors all their money back. Do you think that they were happy? And then the key to this is the investors still own 40% of that property. So even though Saskatoon right now is in a bit of a down market and we've had some vacancy, when the market turns around there, that place is going to be absolutely sweet for everybody. Everybody's got their money back, so there's no risk left. And we were able to refinance at a high in the market. We refinanced at $150,000 a door. Now just think of that. $60,000 a door times 24 units. That was sweet. So, and I don't even believe we pulled out all the money. We just pulled out enough to pay off the investors. So, really, really good deal. So that's another one that's really sweet for us, and love it to pieces. Another one, and this is the third and final one I'm going to talk about today, and this is what we call our big deal. So in 2012, we took possession of this property. It was 144 units, and it was in La Ronge, Saskatchewan. We still own it again, and we bought it from a charity. So it did take us a while. We had lots of negotiation because it needed to be renovated and updated. It hadn't been looked after very well. And so it took us actually 10 months to buy that property. And we raised $1.2 million for it. And we worked really hard. We paved the parking lot. We renovated a lot of units. We increased the rents, and not a huge amount. I think roughly on average about $100 a month over this the two and a half year period. But anyway, so we put a new roof and like I said, it renovated. We have live-in caretakers there because it's such a big place. And anyway, 2.5 years later, so we bought it November of 2012. We took possession. July of 2015, we refinanced it, and we had CMHC mortgage on there. So we actually first had a 10-year mortgage on there at 4%. And we refinanced it. We bought it for $6.5 million. We refinanced it at $10.8 million. 2.5 years later, again, all our investors paid back. And you know what? Every one of those investors because we knew the money was coming out. So we were frantically looking for a couple good deals that we could present to them, which is what you want to do. You want to have something for your investors when you know the money's coming out, because if you leave it in their hands for too long, they might find other uses for it. So we wanted to actually find something else, and we did. We found 2 apartment buildings, one in Saskatoon and one in Regina, and every investor in that group reinvested with us except one. And his reason was that he felt like he was getting too old to carry on another 5 years, and he wanted to just leave his money in the one that he had, but he didn't want to go on to the 2 new ones. So it worked out really, really well. So those are our 3 biggest success stories. L'Orange one, when it's all said and done, and right now we're actually still in the process. When we refinanced it, the lender gave us a bunch of stipulations of more things that we needed to do to the building. So we just finished doing all that stuff. So the cash flows should start flowing here pretty soon. And we should be getting around $10,000 a month. So that's what I say by that was our big deal. That made just the biggest difference for us, because even though we haven't received that yet, it's like it's money in the bank and it's there. Our net worth has increased, I think, on that building alone, like $1 million. It's absolutely huge. And keep in mind, we started in 2007. We bought that in 2012, so that was 5 years later. We refinanced it in 2015, and we're going to start cash flowing it now very soon. And like I said, it's going to make all the difference in the world. So those are our 3 biggest success stories. And so my question to you is, do you have any that you'd like me to help you analyze? Do you have any that you're working on that you need some help with? Type it in the chat box and let me know, and I'll see if I can help you with, I don't know how long of time you need to type in. But I love being able to help people get financially free. It's so exciting. Coming from my background, being a single mom and not earning very much money and not having a lot of choices, it's exciting for me to be financially free and to be able to share that, with my loved ones and just everybody. I just want to share it. It's so exciting. It's so fun. And it's just a really nice spot to be in our lives. Okay, Rob says, can you explain the process of refinancing a property? Does this simply allow you to pull cash out of the deal for yourself and investors based on the appreciation that's incurred in the buildings? You know what? You got it exactly right, Rob. So we had built the value of that building up like $4 million, and a lot of it was market. A lot of it was the work that we did in it. And the biggest thing was the forced appreciation, which was the rent increases. So yeah, we were able to refinance and pull the money out. Now, the investors, it was all principal, so it comes back tax-free. Now, for us, we actually got a big payday when that happened too. And because it's a loan, there's no tax implications on it. It's just part of the property's paying off that loan. I don't have to pay it off personally. The property's paying off that loan. So that is so cool. So we had a big cash injection that year. And it's really sweet. So okay, next question. Your thoughts on investing in secondary markets, example, smaller cities. That's a really good question too, Rob, because you know what? That was one of our challenges funding that deal. A lot of people were scared because it was a small town. It's a population of less than 3,000. And generally, we stay away from that. But I'm from northern Saskatchewan, Meadow Lake. And as a matter of fact, I'm in Meadow Lake right now. I'm at my nephew's house in Meadow Lake. There's a lot of family around this weekend, so we stayed at my brother's last night. Got to spend some time with the brand new baby Aubrey. And today we're over at Rick's place. So I know I got some family on here, so I can mention those names. They'll know who I'm talking about. And we're in Kelsey's room, so that's the eye in the background. She's got a really cute mural on her wall. It's so nice. Anyway, so we knew, because my partners are from Saskatoon, we knew, and plus being from northern Saskatchewan, we knew that L'Orange was the gateway to the north. And there's very few houses built up there because of that. And so we knew it would be a really good place. Plus, there was a waiting list for the units up there. And the college also rents some units from us as well. So we knew we'd have more repairs and maintenance than normal and all that kind of stuff. But it was a little bit scary for our investors, and some understood the market. There was no doubt about that. Some we just explained and it made them understand. Others just wouldn't because it was a small town. But you know what? We felt it took us a little longer to raise the money. It was 1.2, so it was a lot of money for us, and they're all pretty happy investors out there. So when you're looking at a secondary market like a smaller city like that, what you need to look at is what's making the town thrive. You need to be careful, because if you're in a small town where the industry's dying, there's a good chance you're going to have very high vacancy. And you know, unless all your people are social assistants, because you know, again, they get their rent paid for by the government. So think about that too. But if it's an industry that's dying, you really want to avoid that, because chances are you're not going to get a huge increase in value. Chances are you'll have higher than normal vacancy. One of my students just recently, two 20-year-old guys, one from White City, one from Pilot Butte, been good friends for years, don't even own their own house yet. They just bought a 12-unit apartment building in Moosomin. Now, generally, we wouldn't recommend a market like that, but Moosomin is 40 kilometers away from the biggest potash mine going in Saskatchewan. As a matter of fact, they've just done like $1 billion expansion on it, and that potash mine is going to employ a lot of people, maybe not as many as they used to, because they're going to be very high technology run, but it's like most sawmills nowadays. You don't see anybody out there physically doing the work. Everything's run with computers, but they still need the people to man the computers. And so there'll be good population there for years and years. And it's oil and gas town too. So the oil and gas kind of fluctuates a little bit more than usual, but they're very happy with their purchase. It's almost brand new building. It was built in 2015, and they've got very good rents. They're like $1,200 to $1,600 a month, and they put an ad on Kijiji for rent. They've got 7 people on their waiting list to move in. Now, the last people that owned it, they weren't very good at managing the building. They never wanted to manage the building. They wanted to build it and sell it. And then just the way the market happened, they couldn't. But they had summer units rented in there for $800 a month. Well, that's going to change. They're going to get $1,200 to $1,600 if it's furnished at $1,600, and it costs us $3,800 to furnish that unit. So Rob says, I just recalculated the numbers on an apartment, and it showed a 23.3 cash on cash return, 25-year amortization at 3%. Is this exceptional? That is a little high, and I would double check the numbers, because a lot of times on the pro forma, they don't give you actual numbers. They give you what you should be able to make on it. And my question back to them is, well, if I should be able to make it on there, why can't you make it on there? So be careful with the numbers. Run them by me, because I know the numbers. We actually own a rent-to-own house out in Yorkton with one of our partners. And so I'm pretty sure, and you know what, it could be that high. We need to know, like, maybe it's extra income because it's got washer and dryers in the unit. That makes a big difference for everybody. Maybe it's extra because the building doesn't have any utilities to pay, because they're all paid for by the tenants. And the newer buildings, they're like that. So it could very well be. I would say it's exceptional. I wouldn't say it's typical. Let's just look at that a little closer. You can send it over to me and I'll have a look for you. What else do we have on here? And yeah, and I'll be able to tell you if you calculated it correctly. Because sometimes people, they miss things like, because cash on cash is calculated after net operating income. So just say, for example, if your gross income is $25,000 and your expenses are $10,000, including the mortgage, then your amount that you use is $15,000. So then it'd be $15,000. Divide the money in the deal to get your cash on cash. And sometimes people miss the mortgage amount. So keep that in mind. Good morning, Jake. Welcome. Hi, Kate. Hi, Misty. Hey, I thought of you yesterday, or what day? 2 days ago when we drove through North Battleford. Nice to see you on. Hey, Janice Dallin. Hey, where are you guys for Christmas this year? Hi, Jancy. Oh, and Connie, my cousin, Connie Jaskala. Hi, Connie. Carm, my niece. Beverly McLeod. Hi, Beverly. How are you today? Okay, great. So, any more questions, you guys? I love these questions. It's great. I don't even know what time it is here. 10:26. Well, I usually plan for about half an hour, so I hope you liked my numbers today that I shared with you. We have a lot of good stories like that. If you if you want to learn more, follow us, and I do want to take a few moments just to tell you a bit about my course. So, as most of you know, my 90 Day to 5K course is on sale for the month of December. And all last year it sold for $5,000, and this year I have it on sale for $12.95. Reason being is I want to help a lot of people buy real estate this year. And because I really think we're in a sweet spot the next 18 months for people to be able to buy. I want to see some success stories this year. I've got a lot of success stories now with what we've been able to do. I want to double or triple that in the next 18 months. So we really I want to help a lot of people. Now, with that course, on top of that, you're getting about $15,000 worth of bonuses because well, first of all, the course was worth $5,000. Or I was selling it for $5,000. It's probably worth more if you think about what you can do with it. And we are doing a 3-day event in March, which is all about real estate. And the theme this year is mindset. So it's mindset around real estate and how do we get past those fears? How do we get past those limiting beliefs and that sort of thing? That we're really going to focus on that and help people, because I think 90% of success is a person's mindset. And so our whole theme all weekend, and it's not a weekend, it's a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, is around mindset and making your mindset the biggest it's ever been. That's our goal. And so that 3-day event, last year we sold it for $297. So that we give you all a free ticket for that if you buy this before the end of December. And also on top of that, I am starting a whole mindset course this year. It's going to be a 12-week program. And it's being thrown in as well. I will eventually sell that course probably for about $2,000. This year, because it's brand new and you're going to be my beta test group, I'm throwing it in for free. That probably won't happen again next year. So that's another bonus. On top of that, my marketing team, and like I said, they're amazing. Love them to pieces. Could not do this without them. They take so much of the pressure off of getting everything done every day. I just get to show up and share my knowledge. They have set, they're giving away a 4-week course. It's worth like $7.95. And they're going to teach you, after you're done the 90 Day to 5K program, they're going to teach you how to market so that you start getting properties coming to you and investors coming to you. So that is huge, a huge, huge, huge bonus in there. And I think that's it for bonuses. But like I said, $15,000 value. I'm feeling very generous being Christmas. And plus, I really want to reach a lot of people. So if you know somebody who might be interested in investing in real estate and they don't know where to start, they think because they don't have any money or credit that they can't do anything, send them my info. Get them on one of the Facebook Lives. Get them to connect with me on Facebook. I connect with everybody on Facebook, just so you know, until they text me and say, hello, beautiful, I just want to get to know you better. And then I block them immediately because I don't know how many people I'm connecting with on Facebook. So like I said, I connect, I accept everyone as a friend until they say something stupid like that, because then I know what they're looking for, right? They show their true colors very quickly. Don't even respond, not even once, just block. If you're interested in the program, don't put hello beautiful. That's funny. Anyway, so if you are, send it to your friends. We'd love to be able to help them. The more the merrier. You know, I really believe in sharing the wealth, sharing the knowledge, and helping each other out. You know, our biggest success stories are in our mastermind group, and it's because we're all working together to build this for each other. We were just down in New York, and an investor was interested in investing with us. I sent him the package of my young guys, and they said, yeah, we're interested in that. He said, let's have a phone call. So we had a phone call. He said, I invest in stuff like this all the time. It's mostly been commercial, but I'd love to invest in residential. I love the idea of being in Western Canada, and I love the idea of my US dollar exchange. So I set him up with my new students. So sometimes that happens. We've got many properties. We don't even feel like we need any more. We do get involved in deals. Sometimes the students need us involved for net worth and experience and stuff like that if it's a really big deal, and we're happy to do that and get a piece of the pie, and we love helping people get successful. And Terry says, so is this still available in 3 payments? It absolutely is. If you want to sign up, go to www.90daysto5k.ca, and you can either do the full pay option, which is $12.95, or 3 payments of, I think it's $4.95 or $4.97, something like that. So welcome. Can you leave that on, please? Welcome. I'm very excited to have you all on board. If you've ever thought about getting into real estate, sign up for the course because it's awesome. It's amazing. I actually got a testimonial from one of my students this morning. We're in module 4 because we started this class December 6th. And he said to me, when I first started, Edna, I was very nervous about thinking, about, of course, all the things that could go wrong. And he said after 4 weeks in the course, he says, I absolutely 100% believe I made the right decision. So he said, and I can't believe all the bonuses that you're thrown in that I didn't even know that I was going to get when I signed up. So he said, I really appreciate that. And so that's a shout out for you, Tyler. I really appreciate that testimonial this morning. I already sent it over to my marketing team, so you might see some of your words posted somewhere, and I hope that's okay. And we'll, of course, Chandel always gets written permission from me first. So, but just so you know, I said, can we use this? And she goes, yeah, I think we can. So I really appreciate that. I've got a lot of really great students. The other thing is you have a Facebook group that everybody's trying to do the same thing. So when you're involved with a group who are all trying to accomplish the same thing, that's your support system, because you don't always get it from other people. Other people in your lives that love you will think, oh, you can't do that. You're dreaming way too big. You're going to get hurt. They don't mean to hold you back. They just can't see the success for themselves. So they want to protect you. And gosh, we've spent $1,200 on well, to give you an example, we spent more than $1,200 on our Christmas party this year that we invited the mastermind students to. We spent more than $1,200 at the Christmas party this year when we invited our friends and neighbors over. So it's very easy to spend $1,200. So spend it on yourself, give it to yourself as a Christmas present, or Ukrainian Christmas coming up, ask somebody for it. If you join in the month of December, well, actually anybody who's ever joined has lifetime access to this course, meaning as I update it, you can rejoin. I know sometimes people are saying, well, I'm too busy to do anything in January. Join anyway. You can start, you can do 3 sessions in January, wait till the next time it comes out, probably will be in April. But every time you wait, you're missing out on the window of opportunity, because like I said, I honestly believe that now is a great time to be investing. We're getting some bargains like nobody's business because people have got themselves in trouble because of the market slowdown. So that's when you buy, is when the market's on a down. We're on a down right now. Even though we're not seeing huge bargains in apartment buildings, we're seeing some movement. Also, the better time to get vendor financing, because lenders are being tougher and tougher. So it's a good thing to say to the vendor, well, it's tougher and tougher to get financing. Do you think you want to give us some vendor finance money till we can get it financed fully out? So different things like that. Great time to get in. We've had a lot of success stories, and like I said, one of our students, he's in the mastermind. He joined us this summer. He's a teacher, so we wanted to go through it, fast track it. So I gave him the recordings. I only gave him one at a time. He had to have his homework back to me, but he finished I think it was 6 or 7 weeks in 3 weeks. And then he got his first two investors. I don't even think he's come back to finish the rest because he asks me questions all the time. He says, I know it's probably in the course, but I don't have time to take the course. He got two houses, duplexes, I believe, 1,100 a month each cash flow. So that's his first deal with me. And right now he's working on a $9 million deal. Isn't that exciting? That will pay for his sandwiches, and he'll him and his family will be looked after. He won't even need any more properties after that. Although he's a very ambitious guy, I know he's going to go for more. But and he said, you know what? The learning curve has been absolutely phenomenal. He says, I get nervous. I phone Edna. She helps me through it. And he's got a phone call with a big investor coming up this week. And I just said, hey, three-way me in and I want to talk to you. He says, oh, would you do that? I said, absolutely. I said, I like meeting these people too. And I might think of some questions you don't. And he says, oh, that'd totally take the pressure off if you do that. I said, done. So again, thank you very much for being on. I think I'm past my time here. If you have any questions, shoot them out. I'll be back on this later to answer any of them. And I look forward to working with all of you. I know that this course is powerful. I've had lots of really good feedback from it, and it could change your life.